how to move up the company ladder.
It's all next on The Morning Blend.
It's a great day, so make it everything you want it to be. It's yours and it's mine. It's a great day to shine.
Welcome back to The Morning Blend. Well, whether you're in an entry-level position or you're the CEO of your own business, our next guest says everyone needs a personal brand.
You got it, everyone. But how do you figure out what your brand is? Well, Chuck Bolton is an executive coach and author of the book Leadership Wipeout, the story of an executive's crash and rescue. Welcome back to the show, Chuck.
Thanks, Tiffany. It's great to be back.
Yeah.
Good to see you, too.
Good to see you, too.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Well, it's been nice to see. So many people were excited about this topic. You know, we kind of got some buzz going on Twitter and Facebook about you being here today.
Nice.
So we want to know, what do you mean by a personal brand?
Right. So I think you're absolutely right. Everybody, the CEO to the entry-level employee, and whether we work for somebody else or whether we have our own companies, we need to develop a personal brand. And what I see as the essence of a personal brand is really bringing your authentic, true self to work and doing your very best. That's what a brand is, and we need to start thinking about ourselves as brands.
Is it a motto? Sort of like?
It's a new way of thinking, really. It's a mindset. I'm moving from a worker to a service provider, a personal service provider.
Yeah, because I want to know why
brand.
it's so important to have a personal brand.
Yeah, well, the reason why it's so important, I think there are three reasons for it. Number one, I think it's about results. You know, we're under a lot of pressure today to get greater results and create greater value for ourselves, whether we're self-employed or whether we work for an employer. So number one is results. The second area of why it's so important is because we need to distinguish ourselves from the average employees. Remember the old comment we had a few sessions ago about, are you a rock star, are you a rock? We need to be rock stars. And then the third area is it's for us. You know, we spend during the week up to 2/3 of our waking hours at work, and if we're going to spend that amount of time, we ought to be getting a lot of juice and passion from it and really throwing ourselves into it. So it's for us too, so that we develop and grow and we really engage with the work that we do.
I think a lot of people say, well, that's great, but I don't know how to do that. So what's required to actually build a personal brand?
So there's no roadmap on exactly how to do this, but the first is really a mindset shift, and it's moving from the worker mindset to me Inc. And it's really seeing ourselves as personal service providers. We've got to make that shift. Just like the work that we do, if we got laid off from Harley-Davidson and we had to go out and sell our services, could we sell those? That's what people who are me Inc. can do, and so we need to think about ourselves that way. That's number one. The second area is we need to do some reflection. We need to reflect on what are we passionate about, what could we be passionate about, what are we really good at, what gives us juice, and incorporate those elements into developing our brand.
I like that.
Okay, so there are going to be some people who are going to say, I don't think, I don't work in a job or a role that allows me to develop a brand.
Right.
What do you say to them?
I say you're not being creative enough. Of course there is. There's always a different way to skin the cat. And so you need to think about how you can approach the job a bit differently. There are many different ways to do that. Give yourself permission to be your brand. You might want to ask your manager as well to say, you know, where are there areas in our department that are being unmet from a performance standpoint? Or what keeps you up at night as you think about work? Or what could I do to create even greater value? And they'll give you some ideas. But clearly, we need to think more creatively because there's a way we can all be brands, no matter what we're doing.
Well, you kind of mentioned Harley-Davidson before. So what if somebody works for a company like Harley-Davidson who already has a very established brand, and they say, you know, okay, well, aren't they going to frown upon me trying to make my own big personal brand here in the company?
You bet. So whether it's Harley-Davidson or it's Kohl's or it's Marquette University or Miller Coors or something like that, these companies have well-known brands.
They do.
And we're trying to build our brand as well, too. How do we do that? Well, it's a bit of a balancing act. First and foremost, we have to promote our company's brand and really put that out there first. But at the same time, we can build our personal brand behind that, too, by being aligned with the values of our company and making sure that we're aware of changing priorities of the company and supporting the company in a very positive way. We don't want to be critical of the company. We don't want to be critical of our manager, but we can still do a great job and put our individual spin and lean into our job and build our brands, even if we work for companies that have well-established brands. We do have to be a little bit careful, though. especially if we're using social media to promote our brand, to make sure that we're reinforcing our company's brand in a very positive light.
Yeah, good point, because
Yes.
a lot of companies do have that well-established brand, and if they don't, they probably want one. So it is important probably to make sure that the two can kind of jive. What about people, because you mentioned your manager, what if your boss
Yes.
won't let you build a brand?
You know, I hear that a lot when I'm coaching or training. My boss won't let me build a brand. And to that I say, that's nonsense. You know, what managers are saying 90% of the time is they're wanting people to step up and do more and give more discretionary effort. They actually want you to do that. Now, I think going to your boss and saying, can you help me build a brand? They might, you know, have a big question mark about that. So I think what I might do is ask my boss, you know, what are some unmet needs? What could I do even better? And pick one or two things that you can really lean into. And there are things like taking on that messy project, perhaps coaching and inspiring other people, giving exceptional customer service, adding super domain knowledge, doing something that really makes you stand out. Your boss will love that if you do those kinds of things.
So it's really kind of specializing in something a little bit within the job that you're doing.
Exactly. So whether you're a teacher or you're a hairstylist or you're a carpenter or a human resources representative or an anchor or a reporter, what is it that you can do that really differentiates you and creates great value?
So what are the next steps that people who are listening right now can do to build their personal brand? Because I would think there's no job,
Yes.
even stay-at-home moms
Right.
can
Yeah.
build their personal brand, and we all should be doing that.
Yeah, they certainly can. So the thing I think you can do, first of all, is think about what are your skills, what are you passionate about, what could you be passionate about, recognizing that building our brand is an iterative process. We learn and continue to refine as we go along. But pick one or two things you can really lean into and then give your utmost discretionary effort to do a great job there, particularly if you're taking care of employees or customers. That's fantastic. Think about yourself being on a heroic mission.
I love that
and having a
graphic.
burning desire to build this brand. It'll stand out, it'll vault your brand, you'll get a lot more juice at work.
It's fantastic.
it.
I think it motivates people, gets us all excited to go out and do something that's really specific to our talent.
Yes.
So here's the information. I want to give everyone the information how you can contact Chuck. He can be contacted at the Bolton Group. They're located in Minneapolis. The phone number is 800-310-9020. Go to theboltongroup.com. You're great to follow on your blog, on Facebook, on Twitter. You can connect there, or even recommend your boss to have you come in and work with him as well.
Great.
Great. Thanks
Nice
so
to
much.
have you.
Thanks, Tiffany. Thanks, Molly.
Thank you.